Hey guys, it's me, Juliet, your Scorpion goddess, and I'm here to talk to you about the Gemini full moon, the last full moon of 2021. So if you guys are interested in learning about this, stay tuned. So on December 18th, 2021, the very last full moon of the 2020 year cycle is going to be in the sign of Gemini. So this is going to be happening at 27 degrees Gemini, and this is going to be at 11:35 p.m. So we're going to feel it probably more going into the 19th as well, just because it's happening so late. And when I'm always doing these videos, I always talk about with the new moons and full moons, you can always feel the energy building up 3 days before, and then the energy still with us 3 days after the moon. So everyone is going to feel the effects of this Gemini full moon just because we're all under the same umbrella of planets. But if you are on the Gemini Sagittarius axis with your sun or rising sign, you're going to feel this energy a lot heavier just because it's affecting you on your natal axis of Gemini Sagittarius, because these guys are opposites. So whenever we're dealing with a full moon, the sun is in the opposite sign of the moon. So Sagittarius is where the sun is stationed at, and the moon will be exactly opposite at 27 degrees in the sign of Gemini. Now, when we think about Geminis, the first thing that always comes to mind is communication, because Geminis are ruled by Mercury, which rules the mind and how we speak, the languages that we use. So this is going to be really around these themes of how do we communicate with each other, and curiosity is a big thing of Geminis too. So this is going to spark up being more curious, asking more who, what, when, where, why questions, keeping it pretty simple but wanting to understand, well, what, why this, or why do you do that? This Gemini energy can also make us want to be around our friends more or be more social, because Gemini typically tends to be a very social butterfly. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean if you're a Gemini, you're automatically a very social person, because you need to look at other aspects in your chart. There are Geminis who are very introverted, but once they get piqued in a certain interest that they're like, oh, I really am interested in this, or you can really get them going, they will definitely let you know they are really a Gemini at heart, because they will keep talking and speaking and teaching and learning and questioning, because Gemini is forever the student wanting to, again, they're curious beings. They always want to continuously learn about stuff. Gemini is an air mutable sign, so this is a very logical, mutable, making that I want to see all sides of the spectrum. I'm not just fixated on one thing. Gemini, again, it's curious, so it wants to see all sides of everything, learn a little bit about this, a little bit about that. Gemini is the jack of all trades, and with all of us under this energy, this can give us that really good motivation. So if you've been wanting to dive deeper or study more into something, this Gemini full moon is going to give you that kind of push to do that. And with the sun being in Sagittarius, this has already been giving us that energy of wanting to learn higher knowledge, the depths of deeper spiritualities, philosophy, stuff like that. So when these two students come together, the Sagittarius and Gemini, it really opens that up. Full moons are always about a culmination, a completion, right? And as we look at my tapestry here, we begin at the bottom where it's completely darkness. It's the new moon. It's a new beginning, new things to happen and grow from that. And then we go up, 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 and then we get to the full moon where we have completed everything. Now I want you guys to look back of June 10th, around that day, 3 days before, 3 days after. What were you doing the 2021 June 10th? Around that time, what was your life like? What kind of things, if you were journaling at the time, what were you writing down? Look back in your social media. What kind of pictures were you taking? What friendship groups were you around? What books were you reading? What kind of things were you doing, learning, studying, being curious about during that time when the Gemini, the sun and the moon, were both stationed in Gemini? And look at where you're at now today and see what things at that moment. Were you manifesting, trying to create, call in, create, and how that has come to a completion and even ended that cycle, and where you can begin and step into now a new cycle. We're also dealing with the last full moon of 2021, and when you put the 2, 2, 1 together, that brings a 5. So we are completing, because in numerology, 5s are all about changes. So with this being the last full moon of 2021, we are completing a huge change in our lives. And with Gemini being that communicating, curious being that we're all under the same umbrella of this full moon, it's going to give us, again, like I was saying, that extra oomph of that energetic push to get into the place of getting rid of these old programs, old ideas, old thought patterns that we've had, to make that progressive change within ourselves. And when we do it within ourselves, because Gemini is the mind, the thoughts, ideas, and when you start shifting and changing the way you think, the way you speak, the language you use, the way you communicate, the friendship circles you're around, the things you question, that's when these transformative changes happen. So because we're at the last full moon of 2021 equals 5 changes coming to a completion, because then we're stepping into 2022, and 222 brings in the number 6, which is bringing in balance. So this is that completion of what we have accomplished to then step into this new year of 2022 to then create and bring in this balance. Now, to look out in your chart to see, because everybody has Gemini somewhere stationed in their chart. If that house where Gemini is at is empty, this will still have a change in your life. It just won't be as significant to those who do have planets in the sign of Gemini. Another thing to look at, because the moon is going to be at its full peak when it is 27 degrees in the sign of Gemini, look at where do you have anything stationed at 27 degrees in a mutable sign. So mutable signs would be Gemini and Sagittarius, because that's its opposite sign. So those would be the strongest ones. And then we also have Pisces, and then who am I missing? Oh, Virgo, Earth. Sorry, Virgos. So you'll want to look at the Virgo, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, see if you have anything in 27 degrees in any of these zodiac signs. And to do that, if you're like, what does this even mean, Juliet? Go online and Google your birth chart. Cafe astrology is pretty basic and easy to look at and read, but Astro Deity is what I personally use when I'm doing chart readings for clients, but that might be difficult to read if you don't know how to read a wheel and if you don't understand astrology for itself. So I would just say check out Cafe Astrology. Now, some aspects that are going to be happening during this full moon in Gemini is Jupiter trining with, which is in Aquarius, and it's going to be trining with a full moon. So this is going to, well, Jupiter, first of all, is all about higher knowledge. Jupiter does rule Sagittarius, but it traditionally rules Pisces. But I don't do traditional astrology. Anyways, so with this, Jupiter really magnifies and expands and makes things so much bigger, and it brings in a lot of like really good luck and fortune as well. So when you put these two together, when they're trining brings in like really positive, great feelings of expansion, and Jupiter can bring in travel. So with this communicating, this could bring in themes of learning a new language or communicating with someone who is completely out of your culture and learning something that is completely foreign to you. This could be studying abroad or getting that chance to hear about, hey, you may be able to actually study abroad with this program or this course. This could also do with learning things virtually online because the class is too far away. So now you get to learn about this through being online. Stuff like that happening. This is what these trining aspects can bring in for us. Another transit that's going to be happening depending on your time zone, because like I said, for the East Coast in America, It's going to be happening the full moon at 11:35 p.m. December 18th. However, we're having on December 19th Venus going retrograde. And like I said, if you may live in a different time zone, then the full moon will happen for you on the 19th. This transit's happening a little bit after, but I want to talk about it anyways because it's such a huge thing. So we're going to get a little bit into this Venus retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. Venus rules the signs Taurus and Libra. And Venus is all about beauty and relationships of all sorts and money and finances. So when a planet goes retrograde, it's not something to be afraid of. I know astrology is becoming this very like hip, cloud chasing kind of thing, and people just kind of say whatever they want at this point, right? Because it's such a cool, interesting thing. And you'll probably hear a lot of, oh my God, something's in retrograde, I need to hide under a rock. And no, what retrogrades do is teach us to go internally and learn things that are more in our inner private subconscious worlds versus externally. Venus retrograde in Capricorn is wanting us to go internally and figure out what are the relationships that I have and what is the relationship I have with myself, my friends, my lover if I have one, or my exes from the past, because retrogrades also bring up past things as well. So it would not be out of the ordinary if between December 19th and January 29th that your ex may pop up in your mind and you think about them more often than you typically would if you do, and if they contact you or if you contact them. Now, I want to run down what not to do during Venus retrograde before I get into how it really impacts us. So, what not to do. Do not get any beauty or cosmetic surgeries done because it is in retrograde, and this is going to, maybe at the time you're like, yeah, I could really use this. This is a great idea. And then once it becomes direct after January 29th, you're like, wow, this sucks. I am not happy with the results or how this has affected my body or how I look. So themes like physical appearance changes is a huge no-go, because it also rules finances. It is not the time to invest in something you have not invested in before, or something that you have not put your money towards. Not a time to make a major purchase. It is not a time to get married. It is not a time to get into a new relationship. It is not a time to hook up back with your ex. If it's really that damn important, you can wait until after January 29th. Because if you do it before then, you're most likely going to screw things up, or you might just be a rebound, or you're on the rebound. That's how Venus retrograde works. And because it's in Capricorn, Capricorn is ruthless and will come for your life. So I don't recommend doing any of those things. No major purchases, no major financial decisions, no relationship decisions that are major whatsoever, and no physical beauty alterations. Like if you're thinking of like, I think people are going to still not listen to me and probably get that tattoo that they've been talking about, or their hair done, or they're going to change their whole entire wardrobe. But if you do that during this time, don't say I didn't warn you. When it comes direct and you're like, oh my God, why did I do this? I am not happy with these results. I actually feel more disappointed, or I wasted my money. What am I supposed to do now? Shit, some emergency came up, but I don't have the money to go towards this because my dumbass did something during Venus retrograde and spent my money on something that I actually didn't need. So those are the don'ts. Now let's get into how this retrograde is going to impact us. So something that I thought was pretty interesting was when I was pulling the charts, the last time Venus was in retrograde in the sign of Capricorn was December 21st, 2013 up until January 13th of 2014, I think. So I may be like a day or two off with the January pod, but themes that were going on in your life at that time could resurface, and you may start noticing like, oh yeah, during that time, like this, what happened, or I was with this person and this is why they're popping up again, or I was into this kind of like aesthetic and now all of a sudden I am again, or something like that. or this is what I was doing with my money at the time, or I was making a lot of money and then I lost my job during this time, you know, stuff like that. Those kinds of themes, whatever it is for you, because everybody is completely different, whatever it is for you may resurface again. Now, while Venus retrograde is really focused on relationships, I want to get more into the fact that we're being affected financially, because I think that this retrograde is going to affect people more with the finances than it is with the relationships, because Venus rules Taurus as well as Libra, but Taurus is money focused, values, what can I bring of value to in life. And because this Venus retrograde is going to be in Capricorn, which is also an earth sign like Taurus, it's going to be more focused on money, career, long-term goals with their finances. So I really want to dive into just really focusing on the financial aspect of this retrograde. So if you have had a lot of issues with money, this retrograde is going to teach you how to be a lot better with spending your money and where your money goes and becoming more financial savvy. So if you've been interested in learning more about like a money mindset or something like that, this would be a good time to, I would say, or even suggest getting into a course or studying more about how to be more financially savvy than, you know, because a lot of people don't understand money and how it actually really works because they don't teach us. It's all a game, but we're not going to get into that. But this would be a really good time to really learn about what have my financial spending habits been like, and how can I increase my income, or what can I do to bring in more value or financial revenue for myself. Now, we are also dealing with, during the Venus retrograde, it is going to be conjunct with Pluto. So Pluto is all about death, rebirth, transformation, the darkness, secrets, like the truth coming out. Now with Venus being retrograde, this can come and co-inspire with relationships and money again, because Pluto rules those themes in a sense as well. So with these being conjunct in Capricorn, it is not playing any games, and this is an energy that cannot be even avoided to be like, oh, I don't really notice. You probably have noticed as we've approached the Venus retrograde period, because it's the pre-shadow time, that there have been challenges and difficulties brought up with, if not your financial stuff, then relationships of all sorts. These could be family relationships, romantic relationships, platonic relationships. And if you have noticed challenges, it's because of this conjunction that's happening, because Pluto is coming in and really saying these people need to be cycled out and say goodbye. We need to let it go and forget about it. Move on. You need to be reborn and attract some new things. And with this Venus conjunct with Pluto, and the fact that, again, we're ending the 2021 and going into 2022, this is going to really push us to drop those old patterns, those old ideas, that old energy of what we have had, because it no longer is serving a purpose for us. It is no longer defining something that we need. So this conjunction with this full moon and all this energy happening at the end of 2021 is like that quote unquote tower moment where something drastic, maybe not drastic for some, but something significant is going to change. Now, this doesn't mean you're gonna go broke and you're gonna get divorced. It could mean the complete opposite, where you're gonna have a windfall of money and have a better mindset and a healthier relationship ways of dealing with stuff. That's what this conjunction, but something significant needs to happen for us to really be like, wow, I am not that person anymore. I do not do that anymore. I don't mess with this person, or I I need to check myself and be like, I need to take a step back and really look at, this is the goal that I want. How can I be consistent in reaching and getting to that place? And that's what that uncomfortability really comes in from with this conjunction. And that's what this Venus conjunct Pluto is really doing for us. So I'm very excited to be in this energy. And I feel like with this full moon in Gemini is giving us this good kind of feel of like, things may feel for some a bit overwhelming or something like that because of the planets, but there is still this sense of, okay, this is like the last hurrah. This is the last thing to let go of to be able to get what I want. That's what this energy is that we're dealing with. So it's actually like overall, like it's a rewarding feeling. So I'm going to now pull a Monology card for everyone just to see what is the message that the collective can hear right now. And then we will end this video, and I invite you guys to please make sure you comment, share this, subscribe if you haven't, and like it, because it's all free and it helps get this information out to other people who are interested in learning about this as well. So I want to see for the collective and everybody here watching, what is a message from Spirit that everybody here needs to hear and know for this Gemini full moon. All right, so we have two cards that came out. We got the full moon in Aquarius and void, of course. So this says with the full moon in Aquarius, show the world the real you. Followed up with this came out, which says nothing will come of this situation, right? So what I'm really hearing is, and the fact that these both have full moons on them, the Monology deck doesn't always deal like full moons. It's always something different. So I'm seeing that these are just really saying it's time to really wrap up and end things. And there's not much you can really do. I'm hearing it's this control factor, this anxiety of constantly needing to be in control, and you're not in control. And how can you be in okay, first of all, if you're getting anxiety of something, worrying about being in control all the time, were you ever really in control to begin with? Where's that anxiety coming from? Because you were never really in control. That's where that's coming from. This is why this is literally saying there is nothing you can do except sit there and be in your realness and show up and be yourself 100% in this full moon. Be authentically you. Nothing else to do except for that is just showing up and really being honest and truthful with yourself. I want to pull one more card, which is nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. Okay, two full moon cards, and then we have this mutable moon, and we're dealing with a mutable full moon in Gemini. And two of these cards are literally saying like there's nothing you can do. This is saying nothing is set in stone. So whatever happens is you're going to attract what is meant for you. If it's meant for you, it's not going to miss you. It's not going to go past you. It will come to you. Whatever is meant for you is going to come to you. Nothing is set in stone. Relax, sit back, and be yourself 100%. When you can be really fully truthful with yourself and not hide things from lying to yourself, making up stuff to avoid certain things that you don't want to deal with, when you do that, you're lying to yourself and you're not being yourself 100% authentically. So that's where this let go, show up, be you authentically. And with this completion fact of the full moon, that's going to have a tone in what this is saying. And also with that Venus conjunct Pluto, those secrets are going to really surface out during this conjunction, and this full moon is going to really complete and illuminate also and shine on certain aspects of what this conjunction is bringing out, of what really just is not meant for you anymore. So that's what these cards are saying. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.